You want to start with me?
No, you take it away this time. I got to start last time.
And welcome back to Top Cheddar Sports. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Wednesday.
So we're going to be talking and doing that hockey, as they say in hockey.
Okay.
A lot came out this week in terms of Dustin Byfuglien.
Big buff.
So, as we all know, he was suspended by the Winnipeg Jets for not showing up to training camp. So he does not get paid because of that suspension.
Right.
Well, now it came out he underwent ankle surgery, putting him out for, I believe, 3 months without telling the Jets this. Now there's a big grievance going on because if this were to be a hockey-related injury, then legally the Jets would have to put him out of suspension onto the long-term injured reserve. Why is this significant? Well, then his salary is then on their books, and they would have to pay him the $8 million that he is due this year, if that's the case. If not, because the Jets are claiming he passed his end-of-the-year physical, this was not a hockey injury, we didn't know about it, they think he got hurt, in the offseason.
Doing whatever.
If that's the case, then none of that would matter. He would just stay suspended, probably never play a game for the Jets again, at least.
Yeah.
A lot of moving pieces here. This is ultimately going to come to an arbitrator, it sounds like, and he will be the one to ultimately determine if the Jets have to pay Big Buff or not. Regardless, I can't foresee Byfuglien playing another game for the Jets.
That was going to be my next
feel like
question.
this tarnishes their whole relationship, regardless how this pans out. And I mean, typically when you go to have a lawsuit with someone, probably don't have a great relationship.
After.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
going in or after.
Right.
It doesn't make you better during. So
Byfuglien still also hasn't come out and said, yes, I do want to play still, because there was a lot of talk, does he even want to play?
Yep.
Like, does he want to retire? That was originally
confirmed.
why he didn't show up to training camp. So there's a lot going on here, but for at least the next few months, he will be out because of an ankle surgery.
he could be looking to just try and get that last year pay and then retire and have his injury taken care of.
Yeah.
So
Something to look for there. Let's talk about two of the hotter teams in the league now.
okay.
Boston Bruins, we'll start with them. They have the second most points in the league, 1 point behind the Capitals with 2 less games played. They only have 1 regulation loss to this point, and they have a league best plus 21 goal differential. That goalie tandem of Halak and Rask is really working out for them, and that top line has been on an absolute tear.
Yeah. Their top line is just on a whole nother level this year.
I'm on a new level.
Comparable to essentially how Stamkos, Point, and Kucherov played last year when they were all together / on the power play. Boston basically kind of took that title this year, and they're running with it, and we'll see if they can keep this up.
Yeah, interesting note that you brought up that top line of the Lightning. Last year, clearly, I think the two best... Well, I would say the 3 best lines in the league would be that Lightning line that you mentioned, the Colorado Avalanche line of Landeskog, Rantanen, and McKinnon, 2 of which are injured, so they're not doing well this year either.
Yeah.
And then the Flames line of Lindholm, Gaudreau, Monahan, Purple Gatorade line, which is also not doing well this year. And in place of this, as you mentioned, that Bruins line has really stepped up. They're probably the best line in the league.
Oh.
And in
They're
Florida,
at least playing like it right now.
you have Huberdeau, Barkov, and Dadonov tearing it up as well. They're probably, in my mind, the second best line in the league. So it's interesting how we're kind of seeing a shift here. Not so much consistency going on.
No.
Another team I want to mention, as of this recording, we're recording this Tuesday night, the New York Islanders have won 9 games in a row.
Impressive.
And they've done it pretty easily.
Yeah, they're not taking every game to OT or having to make a comeback and everything.
But they are still winning the close games when they have to. They've been very impressive. One of the best coached teams in the league, obviously, with Trotz there. Good depth on that team. I had them in the playoffs. I had them finishing 3rd again in that division. But right now, I mean, they're looking good. So we'll see if that continues. They do play the Ottawa Senators tonight, what will be last night when you're watching this.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they
Looking to
made
hit
it
double
10 in a
digits.
row or if they lost that game.
Right.
Have a feeling it'll probably be 10 in a row.
Yeah, they're definitely the favorite in that one.
And they're at
I
home.
believe at home. So
Yeah.
in other news, Tyler Toffoli, he's being shopped around right now. Could be a big ad or signing for any other team.
He's a player I've always liked. He was a 30-plus goal scorer just 2 years ago. Maybe 3 years ago now. But very good two-way player. But yeah, that's interesting. The Kings actually made him a healthy scratch a couple games there. So I don't really know. Obviously, he hasn't been the same player in recent years, but
When you look at that Kings team, though, he's
man,
still
so
good
is
enough.
value. Yeah.
He's still good enough to easily play for them.
I feel like a change
now
of
they're
scenery. I feel like he could be a really sneaky good ad for a team. So that'll be interesting to watch as well. Other injury news. I'll let you
Trevor Daley
talk about this one.
placed on the IR.
Yeah. So the Red Wings lose a good mobile defender there.
Yeah. He's not one of those guys known for putting up those point totals, but still a very solid defensive piece for the Red Wings. So they'll look to try and win without him, even though they've been struggling. I think they're 1-10-2 in their last. It's awful.
The Red Wings also have a league worse negative 29 goal differential to this point. So yeah, they've been
struggling for sure.
And that will bring us to our final piece, everybody's favorite time of the week.
The top cheddar
goal of the week. Sorry, what? No, you do your thing. Do what you were going to do.
The top cheddar goal of the week. And this week, it's a very special case.
Yes.
Why is that, Brett?
So well, unless you've lived under a rock, there's no secret what this goal is going to be.
Right.
But the problem here is we recorded this last week too early.
On Tuesday.
And that night,
about 3 hours too early,
an incredible goal happened. And then just a couple nights after that, another equally incredible goal happened. Maybe even better. I don't know. But we have two top cheddar goals of the week this week because we can't decide between these two.
These two goals will probably compete for goal of the year, and they both had to happen in the same week.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost unfortunate, but it's incredible that we get to see both.
So let's start with Andrei Svechnikov,
right,
who pulled off the first ever successful lacrosse goal in the NHL in the history of the game, which I think in itself is damn impressive. Something you always try when you're playing the game as a kid. I know I've tried it many times, and I could do it, but I could not imagine doing it on ice in a game situation. So this is just something.
And a few players have succeeded. We see video time to time in other leagues, but nobody has ever been able to do it in the NHL.
You've seen it in a shootout too, but never in a game situation.
Just live like this.
So let's just take another look at this beauty.
Come a time I am going to score a big goal with this lacrosse move. And you won't find a bigger one than this. And by the way, just to make sure it's legal, his stick with the puck on the tape is below the bar. He has scored some beauties in his young NHL career. But from Hutt, sure.
And there it was.
Oh my gosh, it's still filthy every time that you watch it.
I like that the Canes announcers also brought up that he did keep his stick below that crossbar.
With the puck on it.
I mean, I have watched that on loop, and I will continue for the rest of my life to watch that on loop. And it kind of sucks because we all thought watching that, there's your goal of the year. I mean, literally nothing can top that.
Nothing.
And it's so early in the season, it's like, okay, well, we're not going to see a better goal this year, so that's kind of a bummer.
And yet...
And then Matthew Tkachuk said, hold my beer.
3 days later, after having the goal of the week happen to his own team, he went, I'm not letting that tape of our team go on the wrong side.
So let's take a look at Chucky, who now jumps into the lead
with 2 goals of the
with his second top cheddar goal of the week.
Minute or a second point 4 left. Let's watch this. And then here's a block shot, goes right to Tkachuk through the legs. That is insane. That is nuts, Kelly. That is absolutely nuts. Look at this. Like, wow. And not not only does he get on net, he roofs it. He gets something on it and goes top corner. Honestly, how crazy.
When the puck went in, it showed zeros on the clock, but there was still time left.
I actually looked at the clock and I think it was.
I just don't know.
I mean, like,
both took my breath away the first time I saw them. We were actually watching both of them live.
yeah.
They
Let
were
me
both
tell you,
disgusting.
it's no secret I am a Flames fan,
Right.
And I just gotta say, like, watching that live, I at first thought that time had expired. And I didn't even realize watching it live the first time. Like, it looked like he went between his legs. But then when I saw the shot, I was like, there's no... Okay, so clearly he didn't go through his legs.
He almost went top... He basically went top
He
corner.
went top cheddar.
He went top cheddar. For top cheddar. And with 1 second left, that alone is already worth almost a goal of the week.
Oh,
and then...
Yeah.
And then we watched the replay, and they slowed down, and just between the legs, just flawless.
And so now we have to debate this because it's gonna come down to these two for goal of the year. Which was better?
So, I actually think we're gonna have the same standpoint. I'm giving it to Tkachuk for the sole reason of both goals themselves on their own were disgusting, but when you add in the fact that Tkachuk's came with 1 second left in overtime, that's why I'm giving it to him. The scenario does play an impact.
I agree. I give it to Tkachuk, scenario aside, because the way I look at it, Svechnikov's was gross. But, he was behind the net. He had more time. I mean, when you think about it, Tkachuk had to come flying in from the point, and he roofs it from between his legs, from the circles. It wasn't even like he was standing right next to the net and goes top cheddar.
But
I'm just trying to imagine for myself which one would be harder, and I think to be skating that fast and still get the timing down between the legs, I think that's slightly more difficult.
It's so tough to pick.
But they were both so gross. And I love lacrosse too, and I've played lacrosse, and so I loved Svechnikov's goal a lot. Trust me, the behind the net action. Oh my god, But I do give it to Tkachuk as well.
I believe it's been 23 years since a player of Michigan first did this in an actual game anywhere.
Yeah.
And it took 23 years for a player in the NHL to now actually be able to do it.
And who knows how much longer it'll take. It won't take as long, I think, because this younger generation of hockey players,
they are trying for more.
They're so skilled with their hands and everything. It's crazy the kind of hockey we're seeing lately.
So, now, for all of you,
yeah.
Let's be honest, we don't get nearly enough comments.
Yeah.
But this deserves
for the
it.
love
if there's a time, we want to know...
of Top Cheddar Goal of the Week. Please comment.
We want to know who you have in this, because
Yes.
this will ultimately come down to Goal of the Year. Unless somebody really blows our head off after this, which I just can't
imagine. But I said that after Svechnikov. I was like, I can't imagine a better goal. So who knows? There might be one.
Maybe now they're going to do it backwards. We just don't know.
But who knows? But yes, please comment which one you think is better and why. And do you think this will be topped? I mean, do you? I don't know. I don't think so. Also, comment whose side you are in this Byfuglien Jets debate. And let us know where you think Tyler Toffoli should go, where he could make the biggest impact. I think there's a lot of good potential places he could go, but let us know that as well. As always, thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, smash that subscribe button.
And
I'm the reigning Top Cheddar Hockey Fantasy Hockey champion.
Who is your goal of the week? We apologize that Svechnikov didn't make it into last week, but we get this awesome debate now, so let us know.
You know what? We actually planned it. And this guy, maybe me as well, but at least this guy will be with you tomorrow to give his picks for the NFL, and he will make sure he has a lock pick this week, because I yelled at him last week for not having one.